But that was you and Dren Starr that interviewed Pun,
yes,
right?
Sir. Dren Starr was my partner in crime. Yeah.
So you guys had something called Bad Radio at that time. How did you come up with that idea?
So there was a dude that was doing pirate radio, but he was doing like house music. And he was based out in Brooklyn. So he was the creator. And he was, we met up with him. And he basically was like, look, I need some dudes that do, rap, hip hop music to fill this void that I can't fill. So he gave us the opportunity to learn through him, like how he had the setup going. And we basically did like the hip hop side of it through him, my man Centronics. So Centronics was the forefather for the pirate music radio station. And then from there, we just started doing our own thing. Like once a week, we would do a 5-hour set. So he had 2 hours. We would do 2 hours apiece. So we do 45 minutes of music, 15 minutes of talking, 45 minutes of music, 15 minutes of talking. And we just did that. And the talking ended up becoming phone calls so we could interact with the people to see just check the temperature of what was going on in the city and people feeling us or not. And then that just spawned off to a whole nother, it blew out of the frame, the pirate. And at that time, again, nobody was doing pirate radio in New York. That was like a Southern thing. You go to Florida, there's a pirate radio station everywhere at that time. But nobody was doing that in New York. Hot 97.
Because you said that wasn't legal, right?
Nah, it was illegal. It was illegal. We were still in the airwaves. The FCC didn't like us. They definitely didn't like what we was doing. And they caught up to us, because we went viral and we did a UPN9 broadcast with Barbara Nevis Taylor. It was the I-Team News Report. You can check that on YouTube as well. We did that, and then she wasn't supposed to say our location. And, at the end, big up to Barbara Nevis Taylor, but she said our location, kind of blew us out the frame. So next session we did, police showed up with the FCC.
Damn.
So it was like, shut it down and we taking everything. But we ain't shut down. We was pirates, man. What you do when you're a pirate? You get on another ship, you take over again. So we was moving location. So we went from the lower to Brooklyn, from Brooklyn back to another side of the lower. We were just setting up shop and rocking out. But they kept following and chasing us. So we dipping and diving in and out. Just to play music, just to play the music that the majors wasn't playing, the mainstream wasn't playing. We was playing songs and records that the underground, was hard, crazy, but they would never play it on regular radio. So we was exposing a lot of artists that wouldn't get exposure. And we was having a good time with the people too.
At the same time, though, right?
Oh yeah,
that must have been real exciting because it's kind of like a thrill. Like you running, you know what I mean?
I mean, you running, but at the same time, you bubbling in the streets. So people want to hate on you, but they listening. So it doesn't matter. You go ahead. You can say whatever you want to say when you call up or when you see us, but you listening. That's all that matters. You listening. So we would do all kinds of craziness. Like we would rent out limos. We take the limo to give out. Like we meet up with FUBU, get basketballs, T-shirts, whatever they had to give out for promotion, and we give it to the people. This way we keeping people in the streets like, oh, okay, these guys is real. They out here, they on the airways, but they out here, they real people. So we was touching bases, like we was on some real PR shit, like, public relations, but we didn't even know what we was really doing. We was just building a marketing strategy while we was going along with a pirate station. So that was kind of crazy in itself.
Would you say that you were doing something and didn't know that how you were really doing it in a sense? Like you know what I'm saying? Like with the marketing and everything?
Exactly. We knew what we was doing with the music because that's where our heart was. But when it came to like marketing and promoting ourselves, it was just something that was just evolving as we went along. And opportunities presented themselves, we ran with it. We just made it the best that it could be for the moment. Because you never know when it's going to be shut down. So you're just trying to, capitalize as you can and keep it pushing.
But that's crazy that you guys were doing that at such a young age, though.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, it was hard work and dedication for a long time, like doing parties, DJing all over the city, wherever I could get in to fit in, we was doing it. And that was something that was a great opportunity for us to practice something that we wouldn't like got the opportunity to do. I mean, like she said on the news report, to buy a real station would have been like 75 million at the time. We didn't have that kind of money, so we had to take what was ours. Just like anybody in the street, they don't give you a platform, you're gonna make a platform for yourself. That's what we did. And we made it something that, you know, was historic. Because like I said, nobody's ever done it. Since then or before then. It was just something that was a one-off. And we ran for a couple of years with that. It wasn't like just overnight. Like that was like 3-4 years of that.
But were you able to make like a good amount of money?
Oh,
like to
wasn't making no money.
Yourselves?
No money at all.
No money.
Nothing.
So it was strictly for the love. It was pure.
Strictly for the culture. That was it. Like I said, we had people like Dodds Effect stop in. You know, different artists, whoever we could get. But at the same time, we doing this in an apartment, man. Like, you know, rocking out. So what we would do, I don't want to give too much like of educational skills of what we did, but we would basically like pre-record it, right? Like a couple days before on a DAC. So we had a whole show pre-recorded, and then you get everything live off of us talking on them 15-minute increments. So that way we could control it a little bit better instead of having to, you know, do all the music and then sit down and talk. We was able to get the music done first, sit down and talk, and take phone calls. Actually, one time, Angie Martinez called the hotline because we was bubbling like that. Like they was wondering, like, what's going on? Who are these dudes? Where they coming from with this? How they doing this? Yeah, it was getting there, bro. And that's why we got, like, you know, I said, shut down. But even with the shutdown, we kept it pushing for a while before we actually stopped. And then that's how we parlayed into Pirate Recordings. Pirate Recordings was, you know, from the foundation of the pirate radio.